Afternoon, everybody. Thanks for coming at fairly short notice. I'd just like to introduce Ivan to make a few opening remarks, and then Unai will say a few remarks, and then we'll ask you to pose some questions. Ivan.
Great. Thank you, Mark, and welcome, everybody. Today, I'm really delighted and excited to announce the new head coach of Arsenal Football Club as Unai Emery. I know that came as a bit of a surprise, and perhaps there are one or two rewrites necessary. But as I said at the beginning of the process, those who know won't speak, and those who speak won't know. So I'd like to give you a little bit of background into the process that led us to this point today. We formed, after the announcement of Arsene moving on, we formed a three-person committee led by me and supported by Sven Mislintat, our head of recruitment, and Raul Sanlehi, our head of football relations. We had some clear criteria that we were looking for in our selection. The first was progressive, entertaining football, a personality that fit with Arsenal's values, and also a record of developing players, in particular young players, through detailed tactical instruction and also through cultural demands, pushing players, demanding more from them. We looked through and analysed, obviously all good football clubs have an ongoing review process, but we looked through and analysed on the basis that every coach in the world would be interested in this position. We don't believe that there is a position in world football that is more attractive than that at Arsenal Football Club. And having gone through that process and series of references and a good degree of analysis, we created a long list, an 8-person list. All of those 8 people that we approached, that we targeted, were interested in the position. All of those 8 people took part in extensive in-person interviews with the 3 of us. And none of them at any stage withdrew their interest. They were interested right until the moment that we informed them of our decision. So we were in a fortunate position in this process to be able to make our first choice. And that's what we did. Our first interview was conducted on the 25th of April. Our last interview was conducted on the 15th of May. And we interviewed Unai on the 10th of May as a part of that process. We made our recommendation to the board on the 18th of May. That was a unanimous recommendation by the 3 of us. And the formal recommendation to the board was supported by a 100-page dossier with references, analysis, videos showing their coaching in action, and a great degree of background information. We then met with London members of our board on Monday of this week. Unai and I and Raul flew to Atlanta on Monday evening. We met in Atlanta with Stan and Josh Kroenke, and Unai spent some time with them. We flew back on the red-eye last night, so we're a little bit worse for wear. But all of the board members were energized and enthusiastic about the recommendation and enthusiastically endorsed the recommendation. So why Unai Emery? I've followed Unai's career very closely since his days at Valencia, and he's always been on my radar screen. Has a fantastic record of success wherever he's gone. And interestingly, one of the noteworthy things about Unai's team is that they improve over time. We also felt, and I felt for some time, that he's a superb fit with the criteria that I laid out. But I think it's very important to move this beyond the paper exercise, and that's why, having taken third-person references from some of the most respected people in the game and people that we trust, it was very important for us to move to personal meetings. And it was in the personal meeting that Unai was incredibly impressive. He came in extraordinarily well prepared, with a detailed knowledge of Arsenal Football Club. He had an analysis to share with us, not just of his ways of working, his ways of coaching, the team of people that he works with, but he had an analysis of all of our individual players, their qualities, and how he believes he can help them to develop individually and collectively in detail. And also an in-depth knowledge of our off-the-field team and how they could contribute and how Unai's team would mesh with them productively. But this wasn't a purely technical exercise. I think the thing that distinguished Unai above all of that, above all the process, above all of the things that you can read about him, was the chemistry between us and the feeling for football in the room. Unai has an energy and a passion, a competitive energy, and it's this combination of detail, hard work, passion, and a love for football and a will to win that made us feel that this fit was exactly right for Arsenal and exactly right for the people that we have working at the club. And it's for all of those reasons and following all of that extensive process that I'm proud and delighted to introduce you today to Unai Emery. Unai.
Good afternoon, everybody. All to be here with me, with us. Also, thank you, Kroenke family. We traveled Atlanta for a meeting with Kroenke family, and for me it's a very good meeting, very good conversation with him, with his son, and all the connection together for this project. Thank you also the chairman, the board. We had a meeting Monday morning with them, and also I feel they feel with the heart Arsenal, and the conversation with the chairman, the board, is very important for me, for know better Arsenal club. And also, thank you, Ivan, thank you, Raúl, and thank you, Sven. The first meeting with Arsenal personnel or people are with the three persons who, after 3 hours, I think very good feeling for will work together and for will grow up, create a new present and future Arsenal. Thank you, Arsene Wenger, for your legacy. For all the coach in all the world is a reference, and I learned with him all the things in football. My English is not very best now, and I want make an effort for speak with you to the supporter, for explain my idea, for explain my ambition, for explain. No, I am very excited for this opportunity. A big club, a great city, a grand stadium, and also a great player for this work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivan. Thanks, Unai. So if you can just put your hand up, I'll come to you normal way. Ian, do you want to start?
Sure. Unai, my name is Ian Bolton. I work for Sky Sports. How big a challenge is this for you?
It's a great challenge, but in my career, every year I grow up with a new challenge. And for me, the challenge is a dream. Came true.
What are your what are your immediate priorities and what are your targets?
Now, know you. And all the conversation, all the meeting with Ivan, with the people who work here is very important for give me all the information for the club. And after, I want to know how we will grow up this team, this squad. I know all the players. I think all the players is very important. And all the players for me, I think, I want, will be with them this way, but I want to speak, to really speak individually with all the players and speak with them face to face.
David?
In terms of your, sorry, just finally from me then, in terms of your squad, can you tell us whether Jack Wilshere is part of your thinking? He's currently out of contract.
I want today speak the team globally. I don't want to speak individually the player today because all the meeting with Ivan, with Raúl, with Sven, is this team is a big team, a big player, a great player, and we think we need change a little things, a little player. Today, I want to work and want to speak globally for the squad.
Unai, Amy Lewis from ITV. Just two questions for me, please. You mentioned Arsene Wenger. How hard an act is Wenger to follow?
It's a big challenge for me, but I worked also with other project, a big project, and with me, for me, is I am proud to be here and to work after Arsene Wenger.
How did you sell yourself to the board, and how passionately did you fight for this job? Do you need me to say that again? How passionately did you fight for this job? And how did you sell yourself to the board?
I think all the meeting with the people and with Ivan, with Raúl, with Ben, the first meeting, for me very important is was this moment the connection. Spoke in this moment about how they want and I want to be one work. This responsibility here with at this club together, and to know my ambition, to know my passion, to know how I want to grow up my project individually with the project Arsenal was a great responsibility. But I think this feeling is very important together. And after, sure, my career with a one experience, a big club also, for them is important. And for me, all the conversation is a very good conversation with the same idea, the same way for make in the present and for the future.
Unai, David Ornstein from the BBC. You're obviously unproven in English football. What are your targets here? What do you expect to achieve? And do you need to spend a lot of money in the transfer market to achieve it?
I believe the players who are here. I think we can grow up with this player, and the objective is together for work hard, for with this talent, the player work, and all the title who will be in the next season or in the future to be a candidate for challenge the title. Then it's very important for the club. After 2 years outside the Champions League, work for this way, for a life and for to be in the best club, the best team in Premier and also in the world.
Question for Ivan. You talked about a manager who needed to extract more from these players and push them harder. And you also said that this is the most attractive job in world football, but it's a team that finished 6th in the Premier League and is out of the Champions League. So how big a rebuilding job is this for Unai Emery?
I don't think I said push harder, David. I think what I said is push hard. I think all of our players, we believe, will respond to the new energy that Unai brings. I think they will have somebody under whom they can improve their individual games and our collective game. And I think if they embrace those challenges, then the players that we have today can be more successful in the future. I don't think anybody believes that 6th place is a place that a club of the stature of Arsenal Football Club should be. So we need to look to improve that. How big a rebuilding job that is a discussion that we've started with Unai, obviously, a discussion that will continue. But clearly the ambition is to get back to what Unai just said, which is to be in a position where we're a candidate to win the biggest trophies in England and the biggest trophies across Europe. But we've got to understand that, that's not going to be just done in one leap. That's going to be the result of focus, hard work, discipline, energy, commitment, will to win. And that's what we need to have our players embrace, and I believe that they will. I believe that they will embrace it, and I certainly strongly believe that our fans, when they see the energy that Unai can bring with his qualities to the club, will embrace that as well. The challenge we have is very big. I've always said it's the biggest challenge this club will face, to transition from one of the giants of the game in Arsene Wenger, and I maintain that. So this is not an easy process. We spent a lot of time building towards this moment. It's not just about the last month, 6 weeks of process around identifying and recruiting Unai. It's really been an ongoing process for a number of years, building up the capabilities of the club, from the facilities to what we do with strength and conditioning, fitness, medical, psychology, analytics, scouting, all of these different support services. And this year, obviously, with the addition of Sven Mislintat as our head of recruitment and Raul Sanlehi as head of football relations, we are working in a different way than we've worked in the past. It's going to be more of a team effort, supporting Unai's vision, supporting his energy, finding ways that we can help him to be successful, and through him, the club.
Was it too individual in the past? You've spoken very effusively about Unai and said how long you've tracked him for, and he's been given the position of head coach. Would you have liked to have done this earlier if you could have?
No, I don't say that, David. I'm not looking backwards now. This is a moment where we're turning a page. We're opening a new chapter in the history book of Arsenal. We're doing it in a new way, it's true, but that doesn't mean I'm critical of the way things have been done. Our history under Arsene is absolutely fantastic, and I think you're never going to hear me be critical of what's gone before. But this is a new opportunity, and we have to embrace it. Now, as a football club, our very first motto in 1886 was forward, and now it's time for us to look forward and to do it with confidence. And I do believe that this is a fantastic football club. We've seen that through this process, the number and the quality of people that were interested in trying to get this position, because they understand what a special place this is. And I believe that to the core of my soul. There's a special feeling here, and we need to recapture that and get on the same page and push this club forward and get behind Unai and what he can do for this team. And I think if we do that, there's no limit to what we can achieve.
Just finally from me, what is the situation with the budget? Will Unai Emery have significant funds to spend?
We don't discuss our budgets publicly, as you know, David, but we are a public company. So if any of you want to have a look at our accounts, they're out there, and it's not that difficult actually to see. We run ourselves on a very clear and transparent model, which is self-sustaining, and that's the way we will continue to run ourselves. So anyone that wants to look at that should look at our accounts.
So all of that public money would be available to Unai?
All the money has always been available for our manager, and they'll continue to be. All of the resources of the club will be available for Unai to develop the team.
Unai, Ian Payne from ITV News. Welcome to England. How would you describe your style of football? And also, if I may ask, how do we pronounce your name properly?
Unai Emery. Well, in my career, I am very demanding myself for all. And I want near people and person who is demanding also. And the player demanding also. And my idea is to be protagonist all the match. We play against all the team with this personality, with, I think, the history here is one thing. They love, it love play with a possession of the ball. I like this personality. I like this protagonism with a ball. And when you don't this possession the ball, I want a squad very, very intensive for the pressing. Is two things for me very important to be protagonists. Possession the ball and pressing when you don't the ball.
Unai is from Spanish news agency Agencia F. I don't know if I can ask him in Spanish. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Unai, soy Jorge Pérez de Agencia F. Estuviste hace poco dando una charla allí. Te pregunto en español dos cositas. Una es, ¿qué fue lo que más te atrajo del proyecto del Arsenal? Y tú tuviste contactos con algunos equipos de España y si la oferta del Arsenal fue la que más te llamó. Y dos, ¿qué considerarías tú que sería un éxito al final de esta temporada? Acabar en puestos de Champions League sería un éxito para el Arsenal y para ti.
Buenas tardes. Para mí he tenido 3 reuniones muy importantes a nivel personal y muy importantes a nivel de con quién he tenido esas reuniones. La primera fue con Ivan, con Raúl, con Sven. Los 3 que pensaron, una vez analizado mi figura como entrenador, mi figura como persona, para poder ser una opción para este equipo. Y la verdad que después de 3 horas de reunión, de conversación, encontramos una química importante. Lógicamente, la química solamente la pone el Arsenal, para mí, lo que supone un club con una historia tan grande como el Arsenal, y la posibilidad de crear otra historia a partir de ahora. La siguiente reunión fue con el presidente y los directivos, que son el corazón de este Arsenal, donde me transmitieron lo que piensan los aficionados y donde me atraía una energía positiva de lo que ellos sentían por el Arsenal. Y la tercera reunión fue con el propietario en Atlanta, donde también encontramos un feeling comunicativo importante con este proyecto. Entonces, todos los pasos hasta hoy han sido positivos desde la marca Arsenal, desde lo que yo quiero crecer después de mi paso por España y mi paso por Francia. Estrenarme en Inglaterra en un club como el Arsenal para mí es un orgullo y para mí es una forma de poder y querer crecer importante.
¿El éxito de la temporada? ¿Qué considerarías tú un éxito en esta temporada? ¿Cuáles son los objetivos que te planteas?
Crecer. ¿Y cómo creces? Siendo candidato a todos los títulos que por historia ya tiene el Arsenal, por historia que yo he vivido personal también que he conseguido. Quiero continuar teniendo acceso, ser candidato a todos los títulos que se jueguen, pero lógicamente estar entre los mejores equipos de Europa. Creo que esos son los 2 objetivos, ¿no? Títulos y estar con los mejores equipos de Europa. Y que el equipo transmita en el juego para que los aficionados se sientan orgullosos de su equipo, que ya lo están, pero quiero que lo estén más. Gracias.
Arsene Wenger is huge. He has a trophy, but he's missing for the Champions League and the Premier League. What is your plan to bring the trophy of the Champions League and the Premier League to Arsenal?
We want start and work for to improve individually and collective all we can. And all the titles are important for us. I think we can and we want to be candidate for them. And I don't promise today we will win, but I can promise you, we will work hard, we will work together, we will work with a transmit emotion, with a transmit demanding we'll find all the objective.
Last couple, Carrie.
Carrie Brown, Bean Sport. Hello, Unai. Habla español, por favor. I will ask in English, though. Could you talk to me about Mesut Ozil? He's the top star here at Arsenal. His brilliance, though, has been measured by his absence. What do you think of him as a player, and is there more to come?
Español. Es uno de los grandes talentos del Arsenal. Y yo quiero tener talentos. Y quiero estar con él, con todos los jugadores. Quiero hablarles al corazón, quiero hablarles desde lo que me ilusiona, me emociona, me inspira a estar aquí. Y me gustaría que ellos sintiesen, o quiero que sientan lo mismo. Y si no lo sienten, quiero transmitírselo. Y sobre todo, que creo que es un proyecto muy importante como para que queramos dar todos el máximo. Y eso buscaré en cada jugador y en Ozil también.
Gracias. Ni habla inglés. Pep Guardiola said today that your record speaks for itself on your appointment here. You're yet to beat Jose Mourinho and Pep Guardiola. Are you relishing changing that record? And have you spoken to any Premier League managers about the challenge here?
Pienso en presente, futuro, y mis experiencias anteriores son para sentirme más fuerte y para guiarme en el camino futuro. Estoy muy ilusionado de estar aquí, muy ilusionado de competir contra grandes entrenadores, muy ilusionado de jugar contra grandes equipos. Y la Premier ahora mismo es top. Y todos los entrenadores queremos estar en los mejores lugares y en los mejores campeonatos.
¿Y habla en inglés?
Hablo con muchos entrenadores, son conversaciones privadas, pero sí que una vez que estoy aquí, toda la información que tenga es buena.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.